Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on, YouTube? I finally got rid of the dumpster fire background because it looks like we're actually headed in the right direction. Not only did we pick up Jameis Winston a couple of days ago, I recorded that video and I just ended up not being able to get that up. But today, the New York Giants have gone out and signed Russell Wilson. It's been a long time coming. We've heard about these rumors for years now, and we just kept getting the points where he's not signing. They said they would rather keep Daniel Jones as a starter and Russ will be competing to be the backup. So I don't know what they were thinking last year. But this year, even a washed Russell Wilson is better than anything we've had at quarterback since the washed Eli Manning. So the Giants are bringing Russell Wilson in, 1 year, $10.5 million contract guaranteed, worth up to $21 million. So that is actually cheaper than I thought. I thought we would have to go all the way up to 30. I thought maybe it would be like a 20-something million with a chance to go up to 30. But a 1 year deal, 21 million, I can't complain. I can't complain at all, especially being, again, 1 year. That's no effect on our future whatsoever. So he is essentially a guy that's coming in here that is going to give Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen their quarterback. They have their quarterback for 1 year. Whatever they do with Russell Wilson is what they are going to try to say they can do with a younger quarterback. Now, they may take a guy like Jalen Milroe. They may take a guy like Quinn Ewers or Jackson Dart or any of these younger quarterbacks, or they may even wait until next year to get a rookie quarterback. But this is Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll's 1 year audition with the quarterback they believe is established, with the quarterback they believe is a top 2 or 3 quarterback on this free agency market. And it makes perfect sense. Go out and get Russell Wilson. You got Jameis as the backup. So they are obviously trying to win this year. Obviously trying to win. Of course, you're trying to do that every year, but they're obviously trying to win this year. Now, you bring in Jameis, you bring in Russ, you bring in the 2 guys on defense. It's clear. The Giants believe the problem last year was not the defense. It was not the offensive line, which I agree. I don't think it was the offensive line. It wasn't even the weapons. You brought back Darius Slayton. They believe that the problem was clearly the quarterback, clearly Daniel Jones, and then, of course, the guys who were backing Daniel Jones up. Now, my only thing is this. Russell Wilson wanted to come here last year, and you told him that he would not be able to supersede Daniel Jones being the starter. So you basically wasted a year. You could have had this guy last year for vet minimum, but maybe you have to pay him the, big money this year. But either way, that was not the right decision. But he's here now. Let's look at some of his stats. Of course, he's a 10-time Pro Bowler. When I saw that report, I was like, wow, Russ is a 10-time Pro Bowler. He's been in the Pro Bowl pretty much every year. He's been in the league 12 years, been in the Pro Bowl 10 times. Of course, he won that Super Bowl, clutch in the Super Bowl. But of course, you had that whole issue where he threw that interception in another Super Bowl. But did end up going out there and winning the Super Bowl. And he has the record for most wins by a quarterback in his first 9 seasons, which is 98 wins in his first 9 seasons. Almost 44,000 career yards, 334 touchdowns to 106 interceptions. That's a crazy ratio. That ratio was completely bonkers. And 102 passer rating. So we all saw Russ when he left the Seahawks. That whole rumor was going on that he was not the best teammate. He was a guy that his teammates didn't really like. He wasn't really ever having to take accountability for any of his actions with Pete Carroll. And then eventually he fell out with Pete Carroll. So once that happened, he ended up going over to the Denver Broncos. The Broncos were ecstatic. They thought that he was going to turn that whole franchise around. And he got there and it was a complete mess. He had horrible coaching, horrible situation he went to. But after that, Sean Payton comes in and Sean Payton doesn't like Russell Wilson. So his second year, much better as far as how he played, but he was clearly not going to be their quarterback of the future. And then last year, he loses that battle with Justin Fields, or I think he got hurt, and Justin Fields had that Steelers team humming. And Russ got out there and even stepped it up a notch. He stepped it up a notch last year, and it made people think like maybe this is the same old Russell Wilson. Maybe he still has a lot left in the tank. And they ended up losing some games towards the end of the season, and they ended up missing the playoffs. But Russell Wilson last year, to give you that perspective, 7.4 yards per attempt, so not bad. 64 completion percentage. So take these PFF stats with a grain of salt. So 75 passer rating from PFF, which puts him about 23rd in the NFL. Touchdown percentage, 4.8%. 16 touchdowns and I think 11 games. And how many interceptions? 5 interceptions. So 16-5 ratio. Took 33 sacks, which is a ton for only playing 11 games, and still was able to throw for 225 yards per game. So again, those pedestrian stats are much better than anything that we've seen in years. I mean, Daniel Jones plays the whole season. He throws for 16 touchdowns. So what does this mean going forward? He's going to have the whole receiving core. He's going to have Darius Slayton. He's going to have Malik Nabers. He's going to have Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, Russ has issues throwing over the middle of the field. The height is a problem. The height is a problem. He loves attacking outside the numbers. He loves going over the top. That concerns me about Wan'Dale Robinson's role on this team. Can Wan'Dale Robinson, who fights over the middle of the field, who's going to be that guy going across the middle of the field, can Wan'Dale Robinson still be utilized in that role here? Like, can he be that same type of player with Russell Wilson here? We'll see. We'll see if he can get that done. Malik Nabers. I don't think Malik Nabers is going to have any issues. He's going to play outside. He's going to play inside. But either way, I think Russ will find a way to get Malik Nabers the ball. Darius Slayton, he is going to possibly have the best year of his career as far as percentage of big plays. Russ throws that deep ball like few other quarterbacks can, which is just a perfect rainbow, perfect placement on almost every deep ball where he's got a guy behind the defense. And Darius Slayton is behind the defense a lot. Jalen Hyatt is behind the defense a lot when he gets his opportunities, when he can actually get off the line. But when he gets to, get into that straight line speed, he can get behind the defense too. So I expect to see a couple of those deep balls to Slayton and Hyatt. Now, the elephant in the room is now that Russ is here and Jameis is his backup, I don't think the Giants want to take a quarterback in the first round. Shedeur may be an option, but I don't see them taking him at this point. And it seems like they like Cam Ward, but they're not going to be moving up to take him. So because of that, at 3, they very well may take Travis Hunter, which means you're adding another receiver to that receiving core, which is only going to make things better for Russ if you add another receiver. And of course, he's going to play defense too. I'd be interested to see if they add a defender instead. But if they added Travis Hunter, this wide receiving core for the Giants is going to be absolutely stacked with Malik Nabers and Travis Hunter as the headliners, with Malik Nabers probably playing a bunch of slot. And then you're going to have, again, Travis Hunter on the outside, Darius Slayton on the other side, and Malik Nabers in the slot. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And I'm also excited about Theo Johnson. So we have a ton of players here who have had to deal with Daniel Jones and his garbage, who have had to deal with the ineptitude of this offense, that are finally going to have an NFL quarterback. Now, is he the Russ of old that is basically an elite quarterback? I don't think so. I think that's done. But solid deal, $10 million. If he doesn't his incentives, he won't even be at $20 million. So solid deal to get him and Jameis for the cost that we got both of them. Both are quarterbacks that you can, if Jameis didn't throw the interceptions, you'd be able to win with them. But quarterbacks that you can definitely run an offense with. So you all let me know what you think of the Giants going out and getting Russell Wilson on a really good deal. I don't have any problem with it. I think we'll attack quarterback probably 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. And maybe our actual guy that we want to get is going to be coming out next year in the draft. So that's how it ended up falling, folks. It's funny how Drew Lock can go out and win a game, and that changes the entire trajectory of what you're going to do as a franchise.